Welcome back to Fallen London. We're going to be sampling some of the delights of the Feast of the Rose. Pay no attention to my increased stats. I won't be humiliated by Porthos again. But that's not what we're here for, not right now. First, we'll check out this inquisitive spider. It's part of a dream. A sorrow spider the size of a large kitten scuttles across the floor of our lodgings. For reasons best known to itself, it's carrying a human eyeball. It stops and stares at us. In fact, the eyeball appears to be staring at us. With a horrid start, we realize the eyeball looks very like our own. I'd know that eyeball anywhere. We reach up to our face to confirm that we still have a full complement of eyeballs, and wake up. Our room is empty. There's no sign of spiders, eyeballs, or gruesomeness of any other kind. Is someone there has reached one? That's one of the better ones. From there, we're going to go down to Clathermont's. News at Clathermont's. She's here. She's here. She's here. Clathermont seizes us, his eyes brimming with tears. She's here again. Thought I saw her the last Feast of the Rose. And now I'm certain, but I can't get close. She's gone into the crowd, like mist. She won't look at me. Please help me. What is she to him? Ask him more. We suspect by now that these aren't his daughters. Is she really his wife? Are his motives mercenary? A confession of sorts. Yes, she was always 10 times the artist I was. And it would be marvelous to have her back here with her needles, I won't deny it. But damn it, I'm not ashamed. I love the woman. She wanted me to keep her in comfort. She never drew another line. Still, I'd give anything to have her here again. Do you believe me? You must believe me. Very well. Time to swap into our watchful wear. Bend our efforts to finding her. He's desperate, and he'll be suitably grateful. Lilac. Clathermont's description is not precise. He tends, in fact, to unfortunate spasms of poetry. There are many ladies in London whose faces are inarguably lunar wells of unsuspected beauty, whose voices transcend the ear and tremble the soul. It's difficult to sift sense from sentiment. But at last you're quite certain. The description is of the lady in lilac, who haunts London at festival time, matches Millicent Clathermont too well. It must be her. Although Clathermont did say her eyes were sky blue, and all agree the lady's are a deep, rich violet. Perhaps that's just another outbreak of wishful thinking on his part. Oh good, she's an opportunity. Excellent. Well, time to start flipping cards. This will be holding on to the mob. Sure that we haven't. Yes, that's right. There's nothing else down here, is there? Or anything new in the Feast of the Rose? No, this is the things that I've seen before. I am equipped with a few of these trifles. It seems there's nothing else but to flip the deck. The mob. A case for a reliable. We could take that. Mr. Pages, the master of the bazaar who deals in printed matter, has worked for us. It seems that a valuable book has been stolen from its extensive stacks. First case for Mr. Pages. The thief smashed a thick bronze-bound door to matchwood and left a considerable mess in the stacks before making off. However, Mr. Pages claims that only one book was missing. To the chase. Play and papers. Of course, Mr. Pages declines to tell us which book is actually missing. Apparently that's part of the case. Some rooftop urchins saw something, and we pick up a few clues from the rough, local hansom drivers. We're looking for 2 clay men, one of whom is missing a hand. When did the unfinished take an interest in books? Mr. Pages is pleased with our initial progress, but it looks like this might be a long-term case. The docks. We have need of favors from these scoundrels. I'm afraid that I made terrible choices. while I was attempting to gather supplies. The less said of it, the better. Valuable secrets. Ah, I know what that is. That's for choosing closest to more docks. I will take it. Aha, we can actually trade this in if I give up my profession. And I think that I shall. Let's return to our lodgings. And from here, I believe it's a written letter. Choose a new profession. There we go. We gained an intriguing snippet. The docks. We will become the rat catcher. A wonderful device. Rats quail at this thing's very shadow. Walk down the street with a ratting piece propped on your shoulder, and there are tiny rustling movements of terror in every neglected corner. Those favors would have been worth 12 expedition supplies, but so be it. It's a good weapon. The ratting piece. Dangerous 6, watchful 6. Can't say fairer than that. The lady in lilac. Just the woman we were looking for. That winter, we saw the woman in a lilac dress everywhere, whispering urgently in the stalls at Mahogany Hall, striding along the Haymaker Road with compass in hand, watching the executions at Hangman's Arch with an unreadable expression. Did she approach us, or did we approach her? In the end, certainly she looked us straight in the eye. You are desired, she says. Give me the proof of it, and I'll make arrangements. Arrangements for what? Do you know anything about tattoos, Brad? We'll ask her something different. A level look. Not here, she says finally. Meet me at the Panopticon Theater tonight. Don't tell anyone. If you tell anyone, I won't be there. I'm serious. We're not going to betray her. We'll visit her here. Lilac at the Panopticon. Millicent Clathermont, the lady in lilac. Clathermont begged us to find her, but perhaps we have motives of our own. She's taken a box at the Panopticon Theater for tonight's performance of the notorious play, The Seventh Letter. But she seems to be using the box for purposes of intrigue, not entertainment. Millicent's burly associate has you wait outside until another visitor leaves, eyes troubled with new knowledge. Come. Millicent smiles carefully as we take our seat. Tell me, she says, why we're here. For curiosity's sake, for profit, for pleasure. To see the play. Truly, we came here with the best intentions. We're a sop. That's sweet of us, but she hardly knows us. Are we so eager to plunge ourselves into a stranger's troubles? Well, yes, it's kind of our thing. Did we imagine that she would be as eager to have us do so? Let us speak of love in the general case before we speak of it in the specific. Tell me, what is love to you? A conversation with Millicent. On the stage before us, the play continues. Millicent props a contemplative chin on a delicate fist. She asked about love. There was a burning intentness to her gaze. This story will be available until a little while after the feast ends. Just pick the options that interest you. She'll eventually lose patience, but there are no tangible rewards. Just conversation. Well, I suppose we might as well. Let's become persuasive. It seems that there's much to learn here. That's shadowy. Morning is the time for persuasion. Talk about tattoos. Is she really the one with the talent? A satisfied smile. I have no inclination to modesty, yes. Yes, my husband does his best, but at the beginning he handled the clients and the messages, and the art was mine. It was the messages on the skin that came to the attention of a power. A wonderful power. This time her smile is more tender. What the business of the feast is. A candid answer. One whom I love asked it of me. The courier. I've received payment, but most of that payment is love. How does she evade notice so effectively? Clathermont has been looking for her. He has connections. She's been out on the streets, talking to people. How does she evade him? Yes, the agents of the bazaar protect me during the feast. But more, there's a place down here. It's difficult to describe. It's a place where everything is forgotten eventually. The Nadir. It was founded for protection. Before I started to spend time there, before that, my eyes were blue. She's now watching us closely. How long has she been in London? Not long. She prefers the surface. She's given dispensation to travel, to learn a certain art taught only in the country of the High Lakes. She returned to serve as a mistress of ceremonies, as we know. I don't miss London, but I am fond of its inhabitants, some of its inhabitants. You have changed the subject. Her patience is exhausted. I'm afraid that we don't have anything left to learn, and there were more things further down I would have been more interested in. What is love? A mystery. I will not answer. Loyalty. Love is sacrifice. Permit me to show you. That's not necessary. There's the no man. I read about that. It's hard to keep him alive. I'm tempted to just waffle. There are many kinds of love, it's true. Yes, of course. The correspondence teaches us as much. A mother loves a child, a priest his congregation. But we are at the Feast of the Rose now, and as it happens, I believe that many springs feed one river. She wants a more concrete answer. Is it a test? Don't worry, there are no prizes here. But I am interested in your answer, and in the answers of others. I was a scholar of ink. Now I am a scholar of amorous intrigue. Perhaps they'll affect my own decisions, perhaps not. And I would think, too, you might be interested in your own answer. I don't feel much. Love is light, makes life possible, the healer, the savior, the last touch of the sun. It may not be easy, but it's essential. When the histories of love are written, they will outnumber the histories of war. Love is what sets the stories in motion. Some of us prefer to sit back and see what happens to others. Love is an illusion. It seems too cynical. Each act of love is a transaction. Provide time, receive love. Provide love, receive a home. Love can be sincerely felt, but never lose sight of the price. That seems fair. Cynical, maybe, but it's true. People who insist that they love someone who's hurting them are not getting the most out of their transaction anymore. We owe each other kindness. We owe each other sacrifices. If one party is no longer making those sacrifices or demanding too many of another, then what they have is no longer equal. It doesn't feel like love. She nods slowly as we speak. We have the sense that she isn't entirely aware that she's nodding. It's the whole history of these cities, isn't it? 100, the Empress, 1,000 exchanges every day. There are idealists who'll tell you that love is not real if there are specific assurances given. Well, I'd say to them. She catches herself and stops. She makes a note in a book bound with shark leather. Thank you. I will make an offer to you in turn. If you can find me in the Forgotten Quarter, I'll give you a tattoo of your choice. Next, she calls to the burly assistant. The interview, it seems, is over. We've made it. Very well. Let's head back to the Forgotten Quarter. Cue the music. Millicent's parlor. We've come to a refurbished caravanserai at the quarter's edge. We've come to the refurbished caravanserai at the quarter's edge. In the half-abandoned outbuilding, a single light glows like a cold eye. Millicent Clathermont is here sometimes. We told her what we knew of love, and she's offered us one of her extraordinary tattoos. This process will take some time. It is a very particular souvenir. Will give you a permanent point of dreaded or bizarre. They give no other bonuses. Everyone knows there's no such thing as a magic tattoo. Well, I think that we need to give her the tattoo. That's what we came here for. Skin-bound memory. 10 actions. Worked out perfectly. What we look for is parabola. We may not have quite enough nightmares just now. The scar in the sky. This is the one that I wanted. I wanted to get that scholar up to 10. I need my nightmares to 7, so we won't be able to do this just now. The name of Mr. Eaton can be gotten today for the first time. In the past, this is the first feast when you can have had all of the candles to get him tattooed. Now I can grind myself some nightmares by calling in favors in the Forgotten Quarter, or by speaking to the cheery man, whom I may pull. Dream about whispers. This is death by water. No nightmares. We dream that we're standing on the deck of a tall ship. It is night. Thunder rumbles in the sky, but the sea is a flat mirror. From beneath the deck we hear a whisper, rising and falling. North. North. Undertakings. None of these are what we need. The lady in lilac, here she is again. Now this is where we make arrangements. The algebra of desire requires substitution. That's my study this season. To put it plainly, surrender gifts to me and I'll see what company I can arrange for you. No, I'm not a pander. I'm a matchmaker and an artist. Let me check the list and I'll see if there's any that I need to get. Well, terrible mistakes were made in the meantime, but we're back in the Forgotten Quarter and ready to pay a visit to Millicent's parlor. Here we are, with the tattoo. Show me, Millicent. You know what I want. Parabola. There are colors which can only be seen in sleep. Cosmogon and Virik, our skin tingles. In the undergrowth, she's illuminated so lavishly we sense watching eyes. We gained Bizarre. We'll need to wait until next year to get our correspondence tattoo. For now, we'll see if something that I remember from a long time ago is still true, or ever was. As I recall, with 0 actions, you could still use auto-firing cards. Indeed, a thing worth remembering. I'll clear nightmares with the smiling man next time I run into him. For now, we have a dream about the mist. We're walking through a forest. The air is cold and dry, laden with the scent of pine. We reach the edge of the woods just as a light rain begins to fall. Mist gathers fast. We can no longer even see the trees. We stop walking. A delicate thread of ice snakes down our spine and we shiver. This is a place with a long memory. Very well. There's our gentleman. Well, I'll need to tap fate for this one. So please, join me again later. When next we meet, I'll likely have even more Watchful than I do now, And those stones will be ours.